class, welcome back. Today I'm going to start with new chapter, that is light, right? Very interesting chapter, student, and very easy. I don't know why the students are quite okay, what light actually is. Nothing is there. It's a very interesting chapter. Just go through my videos, right? Shall I start? Now, what is actually the light is? Light, which is so important. Without light, suppose for just a moment, if you switch off all the lights and in the dark room, you can't able to what? So many things you can't able to do. So light enables us to see the world. That is very important. And next is human eye is there. That is again very important topic. Now light, what actually the light is? It is a wave. It is electromagnetic wave, and light always travels in a straight line. Light never bends. If it is bending, that means there must be some reason that why the light is bending, because in refraction we'll go with that light bends. Bending of light is known as refraction. But why the light is bending? Because it passes from one medium to another, denser or rarer, that I'll discuss later on in the chapter. Now, bending will never take place. It always travels in light. This you have to keep in mind. And light shows so many phenomena like dispersion, that is scattering of light is known as dispersion, interference of light, diffraction, these are there, and reflection and refraction. These two phenomena are there in your syllabus, and later in classes, higher classes, you will go with all the phenomena. Now, what is reflection and refraction? These two phenomena are there in your syllabus. First, I'll go with reflection and then refraction. Before I start this, reflection, that means when I'm talking about all these phenomena, we have to know about from which the light passes and from which the light do not pass. Now, opaque, transparent and translucent. Three types of objects are there. Opaque means light can't pass through. That means one side, either it is polished or some layer is there. That light can't pass through. Now, next is transparent. Light can pass through. Glasses are all transparent. Mirrors are all what? Yes, opaque. Mirrors, when I am talking about mirror, that means it is opaque. Transparent, light pass through. Translucent, partially light pass through. So translucent has nothing to do with it. Translucent we will not discuss. We will discuss about transparent object. Or transparent object means here in light chapter we'll go with lens. Lens which is transparent, right? Lens which is made up of glass. And mirror, that is what? Opaque object. So first let's go with opaque and mirror. Now reflection. What is the reflection actually means? Yes, student, what is the meaning of reflect? Reflect. Bouncing back. Reflecting. Yes. So, what is reflection? It is the bouncing back of light is known as reflection. Suppose if I take any mirror, that is any plane surface which is polished from one side, this I am making the polish. This is the polished one. Clear? Now, what we see, polished, and this is known as plane. Plane means X, Y, Z axes are there, and that is the plane. Suppose if I am talking about this is X plane, this is Y, and this is Z. So this is known as, this is X plane, that is on which whatever we are going to start. This is the plane which is polished from one side. It can be like this also. It can be like this also. Then also it is another vertical plane. This is horizontal plane. Right? So, we'll draw one plane on one page, and then what we will see. Now, about light I am talking about. This is polished from one side, that means light can't pass through. Now, what happens? This is the light when falls on this object known as incident ray. Known as incident ray. Incident ray, light falls on what? Yes, opaque object, and we have to show this arrow. That means the line, this ray is falling on this what? Plane, right? Now it can't pass through, student. It can't pass through. Then what happens? It will reflect back. It will reflect back, and this is reflection. That means the ray is reflecting. I am putting this arrow above, right? So this is known as reflected ray, right, student? Reflected ray. And if we draw one normal in between, Suppose imaginary line, that is with the dotted, which we are drawing. Whenever it is dotted, that means it is an imaginary line, which is known as normal. Normal. Now, incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal I have drawn. And if we see the angles, this angle is exactly equal to this angle, which is known as angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Yes, student, again I am repeating, when the light falls on any plane object, that means, yes, it is known as incident ray, and when it can't pass through, so it will bounce back or reflects back. Exactly, it will form. If I draw the line in between, when it is reflecting, known as reflected ray, and if I am drawing the normal line in between, it shows that what? Angle of incidence, which is exactly equal to the angle of reflection. 1 mark question may come. If reflected ray is 30 degree, angle of reflection is 30 degree, what will be the angle of incidence? That is 30 degree. Yes, student. So, 1 mark question, very easy, because we know that angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection, and that traces the law of reflection. What is the first law? Angle of reflection, angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Yes, student. And second law says incident ray, normal ray, and the reflected ray all lie on the same plane. This is the plane, all lie on the same plane. Again I am saying angle of incident ray, that is incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal lie. Lie means they are all falling at one point. Lie at the point of incidence on the same plane. Yes, student, got it? So, this is the laws of reflection which will follow in any ray diagram. Wherever we see, I'll show you whether this law is following or not. Whenever we go with reflection, definitely these laws will definitely follow there. Clear, student? Now come to, after this, we will go with spherical mirrors, which is there in your syllabus. What is the meaning of sphere? Round. Spherical mirror. This is spherical mirror. Clear? And spherical mirrors, if we are taking, then there are two types of spherical mirrors, that is concave mirror and convex mirror. Concave, and convex mirror. If I am talking about concave mirror, that means polished from outside, and this is the inner part. This is the inner part. That is what? Mirror. Right? This is the polished outward. If I take the example of this, suppose if I am taking this spoon, right? Now, this is half sphere. Am I right? अगर हम इसको पूरा ball बना देंगे, it will be what? Yes, it will be a sphere. Now, this is half sphere I have taken. If I take half sphere, this is the groove inside. Groove. What is that? Gufa. Groove inside. That means polished from outside. If it is grooving inside, this I have drawn. See, groove inside and polished from outside, then this type of mirror is known as concave mirror. Yes, and if this side is what? Mirror, and groove part is polished inside. Suppose if I say this is the groove part, inside the groove part, that is gufa wala jo part hai, that will be polished, and this is the mirror. This is the mirror area. Clear, student? So, we can take very good example of this spoon, that outward if it is polished, then inward is a mirror. If inward is polished, then outside it is a mirror. And this is known as convex mirror. Okay, students, so you got it about concave and convex mirror. Now, there are few terms are there which I want to tell you about the spherical mirrors only. Now, this is the mirror. I have taken one part. This is the sphere from which I have taken one part where we will consider all the rules and all. Now, the part which we have taken is known as aperture. Aperture, that is A-P-E-R-T-U-R-E. This is aperture. Now, when I am drawing this circle like this with the compass or anything, there must be some center point. That is known as center of curvature. That is known as center. You must know about. If you have come to know all these terms, it will be very easy for you. Okay. Now, this is called center of curvature. That is the center of sphere. And half of the center of curvature. Suppose you measure with a scale. Suppose this is 6 centimeter. Now half is 3. That means this is focus. Focus. Yes. Now what is actually the focus means? Principal focus through which the reflected rays pass and meet. Right? So focus, it is half of center of curvature. Clear? And from center of curvature to the pole. Now this is the pole and this is the line which I have drawn is known as principal axis. Principal, the main line on which on paper we will show where the object is kept and where the image will form. So that line, this is the imaginary line which I have drawn here, that is known as principal axis. Clear? So principal axis, that is on which the center of curvature is there, half of the center of curvature from the pole, this is pole, that is from where I have drawn the principal axis, and between center of curvature and pole, exact half will be, yes student, focus, and from center of curvature to pole, it is radius. It is radius. Clear? So now this is the ready position, and if I'm rubbing this area, sphere I'm rubbing, this is what the ready position to understand about concave mirror. Whenever we'll draw the image, this is the ready position, that is mirror half you will draw, that is aperture, center we will take what? Pole, and from pole we will draw the principal axis on which what? See, suppose I am putting this object on this, and center of the sphere is known as center of curvature, and center of curvature and pole exact half is known as focus. And from center of curvature to pole, it is known as capital R, that is radius. So this is the ready position. If I am talking about, yes, this is about, I have talked about, yes, which mirror? Concave mirror. If I am talking about convex mirror, see, this is the convex mirror, that is groove part is polished. And this is the principal axis. Why I have extended? Because now this side is what? Sphere is right hand side. Clear? And when we are drawing, this is the center of curvature, half of the center of curvature from the pole is known as focus, and this is the mirror part. From in front, the mirror is there. Object, I have stand up. This is the object and this is the mirror part. So in convex mirror, always it is towards the right side. In concave mirror, it is towards the left side. That now, which mirror is this? This is what? Concave mirror. So everything is left side. Clear, student? Yes. Now, before I start with the image formations, there are few rules are there which is very, very important. If you have come to know about these rules, 4 rules are there, you can automatically make the image diagrams by using simply these rules. Right? Shall I start? Yes. Now, again, ready position, aperture, pole, focus, center of curvature. Now, I have kept the object, always the object should be upright position. Upright, straight. Clear? This is object and we will mark arrow, that is it is above. Right? Now, first rule, if the light ray is coming, we'll consider only 2 rays. If more than 2 rays will be there, there will be a mess up of the image. The image is not clear. That is why we have taken only 2 ray diagrams when we are drawing the image. Right? So here I'll explain you all these rules, how you can make the image. Clear, student? Now, first rule. Ready? This is the object. Stand up here. When light rays touching with this object, aisa nahi, you can't do like this. No. The object which is touching this light, when it is touching this object, what happens? If the light ray is parallel to the principal axis, this is the incident ray which is falling on the mirror. Whenever the ray which is falling on the mirror is known as incident ray. Now, it is incident ray and it always passes through the focus. Reflects from the focus. First rule, whenever the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, it always reflects through the focus. And is this rule following? Yes. See, this is the normal. So, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Yes, student? Following the rule also. Laws, following the laws also. Second rule, Second rule, first rule, parallel to the, when the incident ray is parallel to the principal axis, it always reflects through the focus. Second rule, if the incident ray is passing through the focus, it will always parallel to the principal axis. Clear? Just opposite to this. Whenever the incident ray is passing through the focus, it always parallel to the reflected ray is always parallel to the principal axis. And let's see whether it is following the law or not. Yes, if I draw the normal incident ray, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So always whenever the rays are there, that means it will definitely follows the law of reflection. Clear? Next come. Third point. If the incident ray passes through center of curvature, arrow, then it traces the same path. Very, very important, because there is no normal. It is coming from center of curvature of the mirror, where we can't draw the normal. Yes, so normal is not there. That is why it traces the same path. Yes, third rule, when the incident ray passes through center of curvature, it traces the same path. Last rule, if the incident ray falls obliquely on the mirror, it reflects obliquely, and this is the normal. Yes, student. Fourth rule, when the incident rays falls obliquely on the mirror, obliquely means with the angle, and it reflects obliquely. These are the four rules which are very, very important. That is, first rule, when the incident ray is parallel to the axis, it always passes, reflected ray always passes through the focus. Second rule, when the incident ray passes through the focus, it always, yes student, parallel to the principal axis. It means I am talking about reflected ray. Third rule, if the incident ray passes through center of curvature, it traces the reflected ray, traces the same path. If the incident ray falls obliquely on the mirror, it reflects obliquely. These are the four rules. In my next video, I'll come explain you about how the images are being formed. Clear, student? Yes. Now, see, before I start with image, one thing I want to tell you about, where we can possibility of keeping an object, where the object can be kept. See, if I'm taking this, which mirror? Yes, student. Which mirror? Concave. Yes, groove inside. Now, possibility. This is the principal axis. This is center of curvature. This is focus. What are the possibilities of formation, keeping an object? Wherever we are keeping an object, there the image will be what? Formed differently. First is, if I am talking about infinity. What is the meaning of infinity? Infinity means so far which you can't see, but the image is being formed. Yes, so that is infinity. That means, yes student, image is forming, but we can't see the object. This is possibility that the object must be in some infinity point, infinite. Next is beyond center of curvature. Object can stand beyond center of curvature. These are all object upright position. That means anywhere. It's not definitely here. You can stand here, you can stand here. That means beyond center of curvature, the second possibility of the position of an object. Third possibility, at center of curvature. Correct? Fourth possibility, between C and F. Next possibility, at F. And then between F and P. So how many possibilities of keeping an object? If you keep object like this, every position the new image can be formed. The different image will formed, in fact, of that object. Clear? First, that is at infinity, beyond center of curvature, at center of curvature, between C and F, at F, between F and pole. Right? So these are how many positions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 positions will be where actually the object has been kept, and we will draw 6 images of concave mirror. So in my next video, I'll go with 6 images of concave mirror. Right student? Don't miss. Very easy. By using these rules, I'll draw that. Clear? So I hope you have understood this topic. Very interesting. Please go through all this regular watching my videos. Then it will be easier for you to understand this topic. Okay, 10th class? Okay then. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Yes? Thank you so much, student.